We have been having a conversation about food security in the other hour. Now we want to continue conversation about food security and agribusiness. Yesterday we hosted Peter Mushendo, and he's a governance expert. And as we were having that conversation, he went and told us about his village life and what he does as a villager, where he's also a dairy farmer, and he's a member of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society. And he was basically just complaining about what the members of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society have been working on over the last couple of months in a government that was to be supported by the World Bank. That's an agri program, and the county government and the farmers themselves. And then there was frustration, and so he said, no, we want more details, and especially to hear this from the horse's mouth. And we've brought the horse itself. Bedan Kamau, General Manager of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society, is here and is joined by a member of the County Assembly of Kiambu County representing Githiga Ward in Githunguri constituency, Ruth Waithira. We will be discussing that issue for the next 1 hour. City?
Yes.
Please give them the day's proverb as a welcome.
Yes, our proverbs for the whole of this week come from the country of Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
And we had mentioned at the beginning of today's show that it would be a crying shame if we had proverbs from Tanzania and didn't have one in the Kiswahili language. So today's proverb is in Kiswahili. On your marks, get set, go. Afungae kibwebwe sibure ana mchezo.
Say it again.
Afungae kibwebwe sibure ana mchezo.
Ruth, you look shocked.
Yeah.
Ruth.
Yes.
Did you attend all the lessons in Kiswahili in school?
I did.
But they didn't feature kibwebwe.
It's a deep one.
Before I came across this proverb, I also had absolutely no idea.
What a kibwebwe.
Zero.
Hey.
I'm now posing as an expert because I read and found out what it means.
Yes.
Kibwebwe is a piece of calico cloth that women normally tie around their waist.
Wow.
But it's for a specific reason when they're going to dance.
Oh, wow. So that the waist can swing and the motions can be properly seen. Yes.
Did you say this gentleman worked in the milk industry?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Bidan, do you now understand the proverb? Afungae kibwebwe sibure ana mchezo.
Yes.
I think I'm getting the gist of it. Because when tying that, you actually prepared to dance and to play.
Yes.
So
you're announcing your intentions.
Yeah, you're announcing your intentions.
Dalili ya mvua
ni mawingu.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
Welcome to the Situation Room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Asanteni sana for joining us. I want to start with you, Bidan. Tell us about this Farmers Cooperative Society. From inception to what you deal with, the number of members that you have, and the projects that you are involved in.
Thank you, Eric. Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society is a farmers-owned cooperative society which deals with collection, bulking, processing, and marketing of milk from Limuru and environs. Now, that's Limuru constituency, Limuru sub-county. We also touch some areas of Githunguri sub-county. We also touch Kabete sub-county, Kikuyu sub-county. It was started way back in 1962. That's when it was registered. But started operations in 1963 with 7 members. At that time, they were collecting 150 liters of milk, and they would sell it to the then KCC. Over the years, the cooperative have grown to have over 11,100 members. And these members are actually 11,100 families, because per family there's only one membership number. So if you are to count a family has 2-3 members, then you can see the kind of population that is behind this cooperative. We have been buying this milk and selling it to KCC all the way up until 1997, when the members again started a processing plant which they started on loans from East Africa Development Bank, which was called Limuru Milk Processing Plant. And they were not able to sustain themselves for long because the economic environment which was there during the Moi era. And around 2004, they were not able to continue processing, and it closed down. In 2017, the current board and I, as the current manager, we decided to revive this plant. We went to the farmers, we got some money, and we opened the doors of the factory, repaired it, and we started processing on a cottage scale. We started processing fluid milk and selling it as bulk pasteurized milk to the milk ATMs, so-called milk ATMs, milk bars, and supermarkets. Around 2018, December 2019, we got wind of a World Bank project called NARIG, which was happening in 21 counties in the Republic of Kenya. And the World Bank was funding cooperatives in developing their capacity. It was called NARIG is National Agricultural Rural Inclusive Growth Project. And we applied in Kiambu County to be funded. This funding was coming through the national government, then trickling down to the county government who are managing this project on behalf of the World Bank. We applied to be funded, and we were competitively selected out of all the 25 dairy cooperative societies in Kiambu. We emerged the best, and we were selected to be funded as the county producer organization for the dairy value chain.
County producer organization.
Yes, for the dairy value chain. What does that mean? That means we are supposed to offtake milk from the other 24 or 23, if you exempt Githunguri Dairy, who are capable, cooperative societies, and either process it as ourselves under our brand name, which is Limuru Fresh, or process for them under their desired brand names. So we got a funding. The total project cost was 157 million. We got a funding of 100 million that was going through the county government of Kiambu to purchase a UHT, ultra heat treated machines, and ESL packing lines. That means we are to buy a sterilizer, homogenizer, and install in our factory. So, and we also got some additional funding now, which came direct to us of 11 million again from the World Bank. We topped it with 4 million on our side. This was now to do capacity building, to recruit farmers, to train them in their CIGs, and also to assist us to install a yogurt processing line. And that one has happened. So basically, that's the background around which I am here. Yes.
So these other cooperative societies
Yes.
around Kiambu County, did you have to sign an agreement with them to
Yes.
prove that they have agreed that you're going to be off-taking milk from them and processing on their behalf?
Yes, we have MOUs with at least 9 of them. Nine of the cooperative societies. And this one I'm talking about, Mangu Progressive, Gatondo United, Gatondo South Dairy, Gatamayo Dairy, Kikuyu Dairy, Kabete Dairy, Kiamba Dairy, and others within that list. And the agreement is that once this processing plant is procured by the county, so to say, we would actually offtake milk from them. Yes.
Oh, you say once. So this has not been done?
No, it's not been done. And it's actually, we are in danger of losing that project.
Okay, hang on a
as we
minute.
speak.
You talked of the 100 million UHT
ESL
machine purchase
Yes.
and packaging machine.
Yes.
And then there's also capacity training for farmers and yogurt processing. So which of those has actually been done?
Yogurt processing has been done.
Okay.
And this was because we put in our funding as Limuru Dairy.
Okay.
and we got support again from the World Bank. The project is divided into components. So component 2, which was for supporting the training of the farmers and the board members and capacity building, also had some funding towards the yogurt line.
Okay.
So our board put in upwards of 4 million Kenya
Yes.
shillings, and the county put in 2 million to buy packaging materials. The
Okay.
board bought the machines,
Yes.
and the World Bank bought the packaging material.
So you've proven that can be done. It's up and running. Yogurt is coming out.
Wow, and it's a good yogurt. I wish I'd
Yeah.
come with the sample.
I know.
You don't wish.
Yes.
We
They
give,
still-
we give,
they-
we give
hours
second
in the
chances.
day.
You will have opportunity.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking is that we've already proven that can happen. People can come together. This kind of thing can happen. Funding can come from one side.
Sorry.
It can happen. So this 100 million that the World Bank then had committed to say, we can actually help you to purchase this UHT machine plus the packaging machine, so that you can now have the processing happening, and then the milk from these other areas that you spoke of, Kiamba, all these other places to
Yes,
bring their
I'm
milk and
sorry
be
about
processed. That can happen. So why hasn't it happened?
What I can say is we've not only proved that it can happen, it's actually working, because as we speak, the line that the board repaired itself without having support. The processing, we are doing pasteurization now, bulk milk pasteurization. We are selling to supermarkets, major supermarkets in Nairobi. If you are taking your milk from any of the major supermarkets, you are most likely consuming Limuru Dairy and other cooperatives brands because we're doing it for Kabete Dairy. We pasteurize for them, and they bring it in bulk to Nairobi. We are doing it for Kamugoga Dairy. We are doing it for Jet Farmers Dairy. So it's already been shown that we can do that for other dairies. And it's already been shown that once you put money into a farmers cooperative that is well managed, that project can take off by the yogurt line. And I don't know now why the county, because I would say it's the county, and this ball is at the governor's door, is delaying with the funding for the larger UHT plant, which, by the way, is supposed to change the lives of farmers, over 100,000 farmers. If you take, and these are direct and indirect beneficiaries. If you take the membership of the other 25 cooperatives, and you take the indirect beneficiaries in that, is over 100,000 people who stand to benefit from this.
Mheshimiwa Ruth Waithira, you're the MCA for Githiga ward, which is in the neighboring Githunguri constituency.
Yes.
So one of those wards that could have benefited from this project, or stands to benefit from this project, is yours. You, when you talk about the county government of Kiambu, you are in the county government of Kiambu, representing the legislative side.
Yes.
What do you know about this project?
Well, thank you, Eric. As Bedan has said, they had an agreement between Kiambu County, Limuru Dairy, and now the farmers. And the county was supposed to give in to chip in with 100 million, and Limuru was to chip in with some funds, and so that they could come up with that whole thing. And the World Bank would have given Limuru Dairy 100 million, just in case the county honored everything, and just in case Limuru Dairy honored everything. Now, that agreement was done when Governor Nyoro was in the office. So it was a process that was ongoing. And when Governor Wamatangi came in, the process has become a little bit difficult. The deadline was supposed to be in December this year. These guys have been coming to the office of the governor almost every week. The members of county assemblies have been going to the office of the governor every week. But our county government didn't honor whatever was supposed to be done. So, as he's saying, we are in a stalemate because we don't know whether... And as we speak, by the way, the 100 million is in government coffers. It's actually in government consolidated account as we speak.
So the money has been released from the World Bank
to the
county government of Kiambu.
So the
Kenya government or government of Kiambu?
to the county government of Kiambu.
Okay.
the 100 million.
Okay.
So in this scenario, whatever the county government was supposed to honor on their side, which was around 30
million.
30 million. They're supposed to put it in that account because Limuru Dairy did their part. The World Bank has done their part. So Kiambu County is supposed to put the money in that account so that now the money can be actualized, so that now Limuru can be given their money. That has not been done.
This is where the crux of the matter is. So let's go into
Exactly.
this.
Yes.
157 million shillings Bedan is the project costs.
Yes.
The commitment from the World Bank project, the NAGRI project, is 100 million.
Yes.
Where were you to get the 57 million shillings from?
Now, the commitment actually from the World Bank is 111 million. 11 million has already come for components too,
Okay.
Yes.
which we bought the Ogat line, we did training, we did other things.
Okay.
100 million was going through the county government. That's which has not showed up. Us, we are supposed now to get 15 million, and the county would give us counterpart funding of 30 million.
So 15 million was to come from the farmers.
Yes.
And counterpart funding from the
30
county
million.
government,
Yes.
30 million.
Yes.
Is there anywhere where this commitment has actually been made officially?
Wow, twice, actually.
How so?
Initially through the previous governor, Dr. James Nyoro, and the CEC for Agriculture then, Joseph Kamau, who we actually did have this commitment, and it was put in budget, in the initial budget for 2020 for the county assembly, and it was approved, and again in 2021. And now when again Dr. Wamatangi came in, he did commit himself to continuing with that agreement. In the presence of the elected leaders from Limuru, we were with the Honorable Engineer John Kirago Chege from Limuru, Honorable it's called Kawamboi from Kiamba, and all the elected MCAs of Limuru and county officers. And he did commit.
This was a verbal commitment
Yeah, it's
that we are going to honor this.
Yeah, because and he was actually briefed by the CEC, who was the previous CEC for agriculture, that this money was in budget, and he said he would commit to making sure these funds are available to Limuru Dairy. So the issue is the snail pace that is employed in dealing with this matter, which requires a lot of urgency, because as we speak, the deadline for the World Bank funds usage is past. It was December. So December 2022. And we did meet with the governor severally. The MCA says almost every week, because I'm a familiar figure in the governor's office's corridors there with my chairman. And we have met severally, and he committed to look for an extension to the World Bank project so that we don't lose the funds. But then December came and went.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a problem with him making that commitment that is required by the World Bank? Because why are you seeking an extension when there was an opportunity to have actually made the commitment before the deadline?
But didn't he already make it? He already made the commitment.
No, he did it.
He did, isn't it?
No, he hasn't.
He has not.
No, he hasn't.
That's why we're having this discussion.
But okay, when we say make a
He has
commitment,
made a
he has
commitment
made a
verbally
commitment. He has just
in that
just
meeting.
not, isn't it?
He's just not released the money.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. He's made the commitment,
But he hasn't
but the money
released.
has not. He has not
Been
honored the
released.
commitment, isn't it?
No. He, honored the commitment. But you see, the reality of this commitment is in actually literally placing the money that is required. That's the commitment.
Okay.
Not saying you are going to do it.
Now, let me ask you a
Yes.
question so we can understand
Yes.
exactly what's going on here. World Bank, you approach World Bank, Bedan,
Yes.
as the consortium of farmers.
Yes.
World Bank says, oh, nifty idea, we can do this. All right, we can give you 111 million shillings, but there has to be some participation by county government within which you're domiciled, isn't it? All right, you go to county government, you say, hey, look, World Bank wants to give us 111 million shillings in order for us to do this. It will build capacity for farmers, we can do it, etc., etc. Of course, there will be benefit to the county at large. Yes, yes. County boss says we can actually do this.
Yes.
So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay.
County boss's
County
budget.
boss says budget,
Put it in budget.
put it in the budget, draw budget lines, we can actually have it done. Does he say, yes, this is possible?
Yes.
30 million shillings.
Yes.
Yep.
We can do it. It's possible. So we're looking now at 141 million shillings, isn't it?
Yes.
The 16 million shillings was coming from
Farmers.
Limuru Dairy, and that was
It's available.
it's available.
Yes.
It was not an issue. He says we can do it. When was this? When did he say, and who said? And because as of December, it had not been done,
Yes.
and that was the deadline.
Yes.
Right? So, which governor are we talking about
Yes.
that made this commitment? And there's a reason why I'm asking. It might seem obvious, but in terms of timing, when was this commitment made?
Well,
This verbal commitment that yes, we can do it. It's very nice. When was it made?
it was made by the current governor, Kihanya Wamatangi,
Yes.
and this can actually even pull out the dates
Yes.
when it was made, because it was immediately after his swearing in.
Yes.
We were the first people, the immediate Monday after his swearing in, were the first people to go and see him on 1st of September 2002.
2022.
2022,
Yes.
accompanied by the area MP, Engineer John Kiragochege,
Okay.
who is a very good supporter of dairy farming, because generally in Kiambu, dairy farming drives the economy.
Right.
The GDP of Kiambu County, more than 60% of it is out of dairy farming.
Okay.
So it's something that every player in Kiambu County should be concerned about. And I think Wamatangi was giving this commitment in realization of that.
Okay.
What we are worried about as Limuru Dairy is the pace, because you can promise, but can you deliver? And
Was he made to understand? Because
yes.
maybe he was. Of course. Maybe he didn't understand that. Look, this thing is time bound.
So what did he assent to if he didn't?
Well, one must ask, because the slow pace at which he's moving, one must ask that maybe he didn't understand that, look, if we don't do this thing quickly, there is a high possibility of World Bank saying, wait a minute, we've released this money, but nothing is being done with it. Can we take it back and do something else with it? Because is that not what we're looking at now in terms of a danger?
No, on that one, I want to first of all let you know that this is not the first project that NAGRUP is doing in Kiambu County. We've had projects of 300 million, 400, so many millions in Kiambu County that the World Bank has been funding. So this is not the first one, just so you're informed. And what pains me is that, as we all know, there's no lacuna in government. There's no space. Even if we exchange, like one administration from the other one,
There's no vacuum.
there's no vacuum at all. There has never been. So if you come into office and you find these are the things that have been going on, and this is what we agreed, you're supposed to call those people and your CEC and your chief officer, you sit down and get to know what has been happening.
And then continue.
Then you continue with it, because there has never been vacuum. So what pains us is that we are here. This is money that is being given by World Bank. 100,000 farmers are set to benefit. You're here sleeping on 30 million shillings only. I mean, it doesn't make sense with a 14 billion budget in Kiambu County. 30 million. 100,000 farmers. And how many people, if we were to ask ourselves, how many people went to the queues and voted for Governor Wamatangi? Around 300,000. So we are talking about a third of those
his
people,
voters.
of his voters. And you're joking with 30 million shillings.
Let me ask this question. Is the money available?
The money is available.
Are you sure?
Is it there? Have you
I
seen it?
am.
Are you sure that the county government is actually liquid to the tune of over 30 million
It
shillings?
is. That is money.
present.
That is money we collect in one sub county in a day, with parking, small things. Yeah. What is 30 million in a county?
Did the World Bank require the county government to actually transfer liquid literal money, or did they want a guarantee?
Guarantee is sufficient, because even the World Bank's money is with the county government. The county government is the implementer.
Already the money. What we are saying here, the money is in the consolidated account in Kiambu County, the 100 million. But the farmers cannot actualize. They cannot use this money. Limuru Dairy cannot use this money. because Kiambu County never honored their part. The deadlines are here. So what happens in such a scenario? World Bank will have to divert the money to another project. 100,000 farmers are going to lose. That is where we are. And sometimes I keep telling my people, let's be honest. Wamatangi has failed our people. And that is the honest truth. And me, I don't lie because I want to stand to be counted. You cannot joke with the farmers. I come from Githunguri. Githunguri Dairy, the fresher company. Do you know how many farmers we're having?
Tell us.
We have more than 200,000 farmers. When I was voted in, I got around 9,000 votes. You can imagine joking with 100,000 votes. And I keep telling Governor all the time, hiyo kitu utaionea view sasa 2027. You joke with farmers, you're done.
27 minutes to 9. Let's take this break. We have two guests in the studio. Ruth Waithira is the member of the County Assembly of Kiambu County, representing Githiga ward in the Githunguri constituency. Bedan Kamau is the general manager of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society. We're talking about a project that was initiated by the farmers who are members of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society, and looking to tap into a project funded by the World Bank. They said, we'd like to actually expand our capacity. We'd like to be able to take milk from not only our members, but from other farmers around Kiambu County, come and process the milk for them, give it back to them to take to the market, or, in fact, even take it to the market under our brand, Limuru Fresh. We can even package it now. We can also produce other products out of this milk, including yogurt, etc., etc. Project has received approval. Money has already been allocated by the World Bank. It's with the Kiambu County government. The project has stalled, however, in implementation in terms of release of the said funds. What is happening? That's why we have them in the studio.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
We've been to the shelves and actually seen Limuru Fresh milk. Limuru Fresh is a product of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society. The general manager, Bedan Kamau, is here with us in the studio, alongside the Githiga ward MCA, Ruth Waithira. Bedan, when Limuru Fresh actually becomes bigger and bigger, and you'll need to go benchmarking to the Netherlands to see what they do to produce better. When you want to fly that way, fly better with Emirates.
Well
Okay.
advised.
So from here, JKA, you'll go to Dubai. From Dubai, you'll get, maybe, if you actually go into, business class, you'll be the general manager of a multi-billion shilling enterprise. You do business class or first class, okay? From there, get onto the A380, get on the upper deck, and you can lie flat. And the beds, not just that you recline, no, completely flat bed. Good entertainment.
The thing you must bear in mind, this A380 that he speaks of, it is the largest passenger plane in the world. Okay? And when you talk of legroom, if you've ever been on many flights, one of the biggest problems is legroom if you are above a certain height. Okay? No problem with legroom. Now, the comfort levels, let's say you need to experience it to believe it. Because if I say it, you'll think, okay, you're saying it because, after all, probably Emirates are advertising through you, so you're giving us this spiel. But I think the reality defeats anything that I can tell you. So consider it seriously.
Put it there.
Yes.
Bucket lists. Fly better with Emirates. The lady and gentleman are in the studio today, and they're unhappy. They're unhappy with the county executive of Kiambu because 100 million shillings plus some 30 million shillings is sitting in the Kiambu coffers, and it should be benefiting the farmers. Now, to be very clear, we have reached out to the office of Governor Wamatangi, and he is going to be joining us for the conversation, not today, but later in the week, so that he can respond to this and tell the people of Limuru, this is what I'm facing. Or, actually, I didn't even know about this. Well, he'll come and tell us. He'll come and tell us. I want to ask those specific questions. The last meeting you say was in December.
In January.
In January this year.
This year.
With the governor.
With the governor.
And your MP.
And my, yes.
And your chairman.
Yes.
And your local MCAs.
Yes.
From Limuru constituency.
From Limuru constituency.
And was Ruth there from the neighboring Githiga ward?
No.
Okay, she wasn't.
Yes.
Are there minutes to this meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what did the governor commit at that?
Well, the governor committed to, even if he has to drill through a tunnel through a wall and walk through the shadow of death, his exact words, he will deliver the machines to Limuru Dairy.
Did he give a timeline?
You know, in January, we were already past the deadline. But he said he'd make it work somehow.
Did he tell you what the challenges he was facing are?
No.
Did you ask?
Yes.
And what was his response?
He said he's working on it. He called his team together and we left them discussing on a way forward. I've been trying to reach out to his team, but I've not got a positive or a clear direction on what they resolved to do. So I'm hoping that he actually did something to make sure that we don't lose this project because at the stature, if we were to lose this project, then it would count very badly. It would be big. Being an intelligent man, I am sure he did something. I would only implore him to move a little bit faster, because even if you look at the procurement processes, if you are to procure these machines from maybe nearest producer to us, India or China, you need at least 3-4 months. And the project proper is ending in June this year.
So by June, you should have something on
December
ground.
was a closure of procurement. This 6 months, what is called defect liability period.
Just walk us through this process.
Yes.
Okay. You've mentioned terminology here, which is interesting, but when you apply for a World Bank loan,
Yes.
okay, you talk about procurement. What are these processes that you must go through before you get to June, where now everything, I think, is closed completely?
Well, once you apply, first of all, you have got to go through their system. You've got to develop the BQs and the work plans and whatever, and load them on their procurement process for the World Bank called STEP. Then they have steps which they will take you. You go to advertising for the tender, opening.
And you passed all that.
Yeah, you passed all that. By December 2022, we were supposed to have actually even awarded the tender
To the person who was
to the
supposed to
person who
supply.
was supplying, and the machines are delivered.
Had you advertised?
They're supposed
for
to
the-
have been delivered
Okay,
by December 2022, so that you allow for 6 months defect liability period, in which period the supplier can either not be paid the 20% which is remaining, assuming the machines are already installed and running. So we are late.
Had you tendered for this? Had you advertised? Had you gotten bids? Had you shortlisted? Had you determined who was supposed to make this supply?
Yes, during the previous governors.
That had been done.
it had
So
been
you
done.
knew.
Yes.
And they were waiting for you to make the move so that they could supply.
Yes. Actually, even a piece of the machine is in our place at the factory.
Oh,
Yes,
they actually made partial delivery.
Yes, partial delivery. And then this government came in, and the supplier, because of COVID and 2020, 2021, several issues. There are several issues which have delayed this procurement. And he requested there were push and pull between him and the county government,
Okay.
which had not been resolved by December 2022.
For clarity
Yes.
purposes, we must note that this process began during the administration of the previous governor,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
But like you said, there's no vacuum. You come in and things move on. This consolidated account, where does it sit?
With the county government.
With the county government,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
So, this 100 million that's sitting in the consolidated account, the county government, along with the finance people, should be able to look at the account and see this 100 million sitting there, isn't it?
Yes.
So they are aware of its existence?
Yes.
Okay. And they know that in order to get this 100 million moving, the injection of the 30 million needs to happen
Exactly.
for that to be. So there's a reason why I'm asking, because if Governor Wamatangi is then aware that this whole process had been done, it's been finished, we should have been here at this time, then it looks as though it could be an issue of the 30 million not being readily available
That's the whole thing.
at this point in order for him to finish this.
That's the thing.
Okay, and that's where you come in now as the county assembly.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But they've been, there was already a budget for it.
That's true.
So the money already was budgeted for.
Yeah, is
So
it available?
Why is Wamatangi, the executive, and the team not releasing that money?
Is it available?
It is. There was a budget.
County
In government,
governments-
we work with budgets.
County governments complain all the time. In fact, the latest one I think was last week from the Council of Governors about the late disbursement of finances from the National Treasury. And this impacts their operations. It impacts their programs in terms of development programs and projects. It even impacts their ability to pay salaries, where county governments are operating on overdraft month in, month out, because they have a budget, but they're not liquid. Have you sought to understand whether this could be impacting this particular project, MCA?
But Eric, when Limuru Dairy goes to his office, he says there's money, and the money is available, and he's ready for you guys, so that you can proceed with your stuff. But when these guys get out of his office, there's nothing that is being done. But when they are there, I'll do it. I'll have to make sure, even if it does. Actually, he promised you to do an extension. You have to find an extension of the SIM from the World Bank. But when they get out of that office, nothing.
Mheshimiwa, I have to ask this. Since you are in the county system, maybe you can walk us through what processes does the county government use in order to actually make the sort of payments we're talking about, this commitment that they said? Is it that they put money aside? And if they put that money aside, does it stay aside? Or is it money that can flexibly be used for other things?
What happens? There's something called the budget. So when you're preparing the budget, all these monies are allocated for in a certain vote. So that vote, where Limuru Dairy was to get their money from, is there and it is available.
So vote equals money available.
Yeah, you budget.
Yes.
That's
What
how you
equals
budget.
money appropriated?
Appropriated.
Yes,
Now,
that's
does
true.
appropriation
Yes.
mean available? And if it's available, does it mean it's tangibly there?
You know, if we are discussing about maybe like 300 million for, lots of money, that's something else. This is 30 million. I'm just sitting here thinking. we're
You just
discussing
cannot
about that
fathom how
30 million.
30 million
That is money we collect in one constituency a day for parking
alone.
alone.
Just parking.
Even you, if your child in school, you are told, come and get your kid tomorrow. The deadline for paying is tomorrow. What would you do? You look for funds, go pay, or your kid is sent
you
back.
run up and down seriously.
It's the same thing. The deadlines are there. Why can't you just move? Sometimes I keep quiet, and I admire the other governor, Governor Nyoro. He was so passionate about our farmers. Like, kama sasa you could have found those AI services, so many things would have been done by now. But let me tell you, in Kiambu, Eric, we are doing nothing. And we have done
What
nothing.
does that mean?
It is true. You want me to come here and lie? I cannot lie.
What
It
do
is
you
the
mean
truth.
you're doing nothing?
There's nothing. In terms of development, and there's
It's
nothing
been
we're
less
doing.
than 200 days of Governor Wamatangi in office.
Surely,
Yes.
she is getting to
What
figure
is
out
nothing?
how
Like
this
in
thing
my
works.
ward, 200 days of office, I've only received 400 bags of seedlings.
How
the
many,
last-
how many bags should you receive?
402 kg bags of seedlings. I have been able to receive 500 avocado trees. I've not been able to receive any bursary. I've not been able even to drill even one toilet. There's nothing else we've done in Kiambu.
Of these
In
things,
my ward.
what percentage of what you expected to receive then have you received?
I think maybe 0.01%.
And by receiving, what do we mean? Are we talking about the money that has been allocated and appropriated for development in your ward
Yes.
that should be managed by the county government in your ward?
Yes.
Or are we talking about money that should be coming to you? You have a ward
We
development
don't have a
kitty.
ward development kitty as we speak in Kiambu, but when we do the budget, there's a way we structure per wards. Like this month, this year we're supposed to do the following projects in such a ward.
Right.
And 6 months down the line, we've done nothing, Eric.
So how does that money get to benefit the ward? Does it come through your office, or does it go directly through the executive channels?
It goes directly through the executive channel, but since I was elected, I've not seen any.
You haven't seen any project on the ground?
Nothing.
Okay. Would you say that other MCAs are saying the same thing?
Yeah, I would
in
confidently.
other sub-counties?
I would confidently do so.
Has this question been raised in the county assembly?
Yes, we have. We have even sat down with the governor times and again, pleaded with him. You know, we are always being fought at Mashinani. We give you votes, you don't do any. We've sat down with him and he's doing nothing.
What's his response?
I will do something. You know, PR. Every day we go there. The other day you saw us up in arms. We went there, he told us, I'll make sure bursary is there by last week of January. I'll make sure everything is available. And he comes to Mashinani and tells people, this ward will look like Singapore in the next 2 months, in the next 6 months. But nothing is being done. You know, you cannot be a PR governor. You need to wake up and
Maybe
work.
it's looking like Singapore before Lee did his thing, so he's not
Nothing.
wrong.
How do you explain?
So Singapore in 1959.
Yes, not even 1959, 1900. It's bad. Things are bad.
You know the
And
story?
you know what,
Yeah.
Eric, you need to bring him here.
We've invited him.
You need
Edna?
to bring him here
Yeah.
and don't even mince my words. Tell him the truth because we are so frustrated. I mean, if I cannot be able to discuss issues with my governor, if I go there, he tells me, even if a bulb at your ward goes off, you have to do letters for a bulb to be repaired. When you want a street light, you have to collect signatures at Mashinani. 100 signatures so that you can get a street light. Ulisikia wapi maneno kama hiyo? What is this? I mean,
You know,
we've
both of you are
actually,
leaders.
We are leaders, and it's the truth.
Ruth, you represent very many people and you deal with very many people on a daily
Yes.
basis. Bedan, you are GM of an 11,000 strong cooperative society. So you deal with people. You're able to read people's faces and you can tell when somebody is completely directly BSing and when somebody is actually being sincere and honest. When you had that meeting, Bedan, with the several meetings now that you've had with this current governor and his executive team, and you've presented your case, does it seem to you like somebody who's understanding and being empathetic and actually committing to do it? Or is it somebody who does not really give a hoot about what you're talking about?
Well, he seems very genuine, empathetic, and committed. As I said, he said he'll walk through the valley of the shadow of death and he'll deliver.
So you believe him?
I believe him.
You have no reason not to believe.
I believe him. I believe maybe he's had hiccups which made him slow down, but I still believe he intends to deliver. I still want to give him the benefit of it. I still think he means the best for the people of Kiambu. As a cooperative society, what we are worried about is the pace, the slow pace. Because if, despite the best intentions of a very able governor, if the pace continues to be slow, then we might end up in June.
Time is of
Yes,
essence.
time is of essence. And this is a project which is time bound.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, the one body that is supposed to oversight and make sure that the executive delivers is the county assembly.
Yes.
Has Ruth and the other MCAs from Limuru particularly, have they caucused, come together and said we want to raise this issue through the proper departmental committees of the county assembly?
Yeah.
Some on the CEC in charge, some on the chief officer in charge, and ask questions. Have you done that? Has
Yeah.
there been a question asked in the county assembly of Kiambu with regards to the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society?
One, Eric, we were on recess when they came to Governor Wamatangi's office, and we resumed on 14th of February. So, and when we resumed on 14th of February, members are very disappointed. So the first thing they did is first of all to reject the Assembly Business Committee.
Meaning what?
Meaning, no business can be transacted in Kiambu County.
So it isn't Wamatangi's fault, is it?
No.
If you people decided to,
Can I cut you short?
please
It's-
cut me really short.
Yes. It's not about that.
Yes.
It's saying when you're starting every year of the county assembly, you're supposed to either retain the people that you are with or probably get a new set of people to head the assembly business committee. But you understand the frustrations that those people are going through. So we all decided, can we get another set of team that we're supposed to table at the floor of the house this week? You understand what I mean?
What does this business committee do?
It prepares all the businesses that are supposed to be discussed in the assembly.
And this matter of the Limuru Cooperative Society
It has been
is
raised.
part of the
Actually,
business.
let me tell you something. the MCAs that are in the Limuru sub-county are actually some of our most strongest MCAs. You know, those MCAs will not take your whatevers, and they're very strong actually. I can assure you and I can tell you that matter has been raised and is going to be dealt with the CC in charge. And actually, we even didn't have CCs. We had us in the course of December. We actually had a special sitting, and the motion for the CCs were passed that time. So you see, there was something.
Now
the house is fully constituted. The CCs are fully constituted, and I can assure you, we are going to take this full throttle.
And
because
the chief officers are also in place.
No, they're not. We have the other ones, but I saw on the papers on Monday, the shortlisted candidates were on the papers. But I can assure you, Eric, it's not about even the Limuru Dairy. We have so many projects that are time-bound.
So what we are saying is that the governor right now does not have his executive properly constituted. He only got his CECs the other day.
But you see,
the chief officers who are in office
they're still there.
From the previous administration.
Their term ended, but
and these are the accounting officers, the ones who would sign off this 30 million shillings to come to the farmers.
No, Eric, there's no vacuum in government. Their term ended, and he added them like another 1 month contract to be in office before we place the other chief officers.
So there's no gap.
There's no gap. And let me tell you, it's not only about this project for Limuru. There are so many projects in Kiambu.
Which way forward? It sounds like there's frustration in the assembly, amongst yourselves in the assembly, and then there's frustration in the assembly with the executive.
Yeah, we are actually very frustrated, Eric. Very frustrated.
The people of Kiambu are even more frustrated.
I know.
The million of them, million strong, are looking at wondering, when is this government ever going to work for us?
Together.
Yeah, because
Ruth, tell them now in 30 seconds, when are you ever going to start working?
You see, as I said earlier, we don't have a ward development kitty. I don't have anything. My work is to oversight, registrate, and represent those people. I have to work with this governor, depending on the budgets that he's given us, so that we can deliver to our people. Now we sit down 6 months, never done anything. Governor is seated in his office. We've tried meetings, we've tried everything, nothing is happening. So of course, the other action. If you cannot deliver for the people, what is the other action?
Say it.
Go ahead.
And you know very well.
No, say it.
What happens next?
Ask yourself, what will happen next?
Well,
Sit down and wait. You'll see it. We'll do it.
Eric, don't we need to be MCAs to understand what she's saying? So next election.
No, if you don't work for our people, we impeach you.
There you go. You said it.
Very well. And I'll be the mover of that motion, because I cannot afford to let down my people.
Yeah.
I cannot afford. I have been going out on the street looking for votes for this guy, for this governor guy, Wamatangi, and that is doing nothing for my people. You know how hard is it?
Shape up or ship out.
Yes, exactly. Those are the words. Shape up or ship out.
Ruth, thank you very much for joining us. Ruth Waithira is the MCA for Githiga ward in Githunguri constituency. Bedan Kamau is the general manager of the Limuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society. Governor Wamatangi has an open invitation to come and respond to this.